How much does being a former Jet drive you to succeed?
Listen, one of the reasons why I want this job, and again, you can't write a better story than my life right now, in the position I am right now. In '94, obviously being drafted here with the 12th pick, coming back, I think in 2012, to be a scout, to be an in-house scout, and then actually spending 2 years being a college scout, and then coming back as the head coach. Listen, it's a whirlwind right now. I will say that, but I'm so looking forward to this. I'm so looking forward to getting the staff. I'm so looking forward to getting with the players, and it's going to be a good ride. It's going to be a good ride.
Aaron, I'm sorry. Hey, congrats.
Thank you.
Where are you with staffing, and do you intend on calling the defense?
Listen, I won't call the defense. I want to be the best head coach, the best head coach you can find. In order for me to do that, I think I need to manage the game. All right, so I'll have my OC and my DC. Those guys will be calling the plays. When it comes to staffing, that's a work in progress. You know, my deal is I'm looking for the best coaches that are going to help us succeed. And I do believe coaches are the start of your culture. So every coach will be looked at to make sure they can bring that. So I've always taught that it's not coachability, it's compatibility. And I want to make sure the coaches we bring in are compatible.
Aaron, you were part of the turnaround in Detroit, turning a perennial loser into one of the best teams in the league. How do you do that here in New York?
Get the right people in the building. I mean, I saw that with Bill Parcells when he got here. So I know it's not a fluke. We did the same thing in Detroit. So we expect to do that, like, as soon as we can.
Aaron, in talking to current Jets players, they said that this team needs a coach that brings discipline, that is a leader of men, and can change the culture from the top down. What do you bring to the table to do that for these players?
Well, listen, I'm authentic, and I'm going to be me. And whatever that may be, it is what it is. To me, leadership, when you look at the definition of leadership, I break down to one word, and that's influence. And that all starts with my character. And after that's my work ethic. So I plan to bring that to them. And listen, I love this position that I'm in. I like the fact I can stand up in front of a group of men and give direction. I like the fact I can stand up in front of a group of men and give structure. And I said this before because players want that. And they want to follow that. And when it comes to the accountability part, and I said this before, they have to understand what they're responsible for first before you can hold them accountable for something. And that's my plan to do that. And that comes with structure and leadership in myself.
Will Aaron Rodgers be your quarterback?
You're going to continue to ask me the same question and get the same answer. We're still in evaluation mode. So for anybody else going to ask that, I'm going to give you the same answer. So don't waste your time. We're clear.
Well, let's answer that. What do you look for in a quarterback? Like, what's an Aaron Glenn quarterback?
A winner. A winner. Mental and physical toughness.
When you talk about that process,
You're not going to get me.
Well, let me ask you this. You know, Parcells, I know you guys are close. He always
That's
said,
Parcells.
Okay.
I'm Aaron Glenn.
Okay, so you don't.
That's Parcells. I'm Aaron Glenn.
Okay.
Aaron, what will your process be like? Will you go meet with Aaron? I know you guys are going to
We've already texted Aaron, and me and Moose are going to sit there and we're going to watch every game tape there is, and then we're going to look at the whole roster. This thing is not about Aaron Rodgers, folks. This is about the roster, and we plan on building the best roster that we can. So whatever that may be, guard, tackle, defensive tackle, that's what we're evaluating. And listen, everybody's under the microscope. That's just what it is. So we're going to do the best we can to make sure we build the best roster.
With the quarterback, Aaron, is it strictly a football decision? So when you decide what you want to do with quarterback, are you just
when it comes to the team, it's always a football decision. There's no decision to be made about that.
Aaron, can I ask you about another player? I know you haven't had time to study the roster, but Sauce Gardner, his position as you know well. From afar, watching him, what have you thought of Sauce Gardner's first 3 years?
Well, watching him win. We're just don't watch him. So we'll understand. We'll get that once we watch him. Right. Every player is being evaluated.
Did you study
we both
him?
just got here.
Did you study him coming out of college or anything?
And he was a damn good player.
Right.
Absolutely. That's why he's making Pro Bowl when he's been here. So what he did last year, we're in the process of looking at that. If there's issues, we'll fix that. But the thing is, he came here as a Pro Bowler. We expect him to leave as a Pro Bowler.
Aaron Glenn, what's your message to Jets?
I said it before, put your seatbelts on because it's going to be a fun ride. And we're looking forward to it.
When will that ride start?
Started right now. Aren't you having fun?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
This
You're on this
season?
ride. You're on this ride with us. So that's when it starts.
Aaron, when you're looking at defensively, like you said, you want to bring in your defense coordinator, he's going to run your defense.
Yep.
Ideally, is it someone that's from your background and runs a similar scheme as you, or can it be something completely and totally different?
I'm looking for the best coach.
Okay.
That's all I'm looking for. A guy that's going to be compatible. And that doesn't have to be from somebody that I had. That can be across the league. Listen, when I go through the interview process, everything is on the table. And the best coaches will be here.
Aaron, there was a lot of stuff that came out this year. You probably saw it in your research on the Johnson family involvement and stuff in football decisions.
Yeah.
Did that give you any pause? And in the job, did you have a lot of questions for them during the interview process about how things would be set up?
Well, we had questions for each other. And listen, I was here when Woody, when he bought the team. And my conversations with him back then were really, really positive. Coming back here on my second interview and sitting and talking with them, listen, there's no better person to work for when they sit there and tell you and you talk about, you strategize about having a winning commitment. And he has that. And that's all I need to know. And we're going to continue to have conversations to make sure we continue to look at that. So I look forward to it. I trust him with everything I have. And I look forward to working with him.
When you were, I can't remember back this far, but when you were scouting for the Jets,
Yeah.
were you scouting from here or were you out on the road?
Well, I actually did both. I did 2 years in-house, which I had a chance to learn salary cap, how to evaluate players that's already in the building, and then I do 2 years on the road. When I had my Honda Accord, and I was driving from Texas all the way up to North Dakota, and going through that. And I'll tell you, that was a really, really good experience for me. And I met some of my closest friends on that road. So, but the main thing is, I had a chance to evaluate every position on that field. And that's been critical for my development. And Bill Parcells was right, because it has made me a better coach. And it's going to make me a better head coach. Because when we're looking at players, listen, I know exactly what I'm looking at when it comes to the evaluation process.
Aaron, 9 straight losing seasons here.
Yep.
Right? And I'm sure you faced some similar when you guys got to Detroit, and probably when you went to Cleveland back in the day too with the losing. Something that happens here a lot is in the last few years, the losing starts, and it's here we go again. This kind of pervades the locker room. How do you change that mindset of, here we go again? Because you're going to hit adversity at some point.
Well, I've said that a number of times. It's the people that you bring in. So you don't bring people in that has that mindset. Listen, I want men and women that love football, that's highly competitive, that's going to endear themselves to their teammates and co-workers. So if you bring those type of people in, it's hard to get to that here we go again, because we have the same vision. We're going in one direction. And we have people in this building that's going in one direction.
Is this a message on work ethic, on grinding, on paying your dues that can be translated to any business, any place?
Well, you would say that we are going to have a grinding mentality as a team. And if you look at that definition, all right, it's friction. And what causes that friction? I'm going to be that friction. The weight room is going to be that friction. Nutrition is going to be that friction. So that's what we're going to be. We're going to have a grinding mentality as we go out there.
Aaron, besides your interview with the Broncos, what is your relationship like before today with Darren?
Well, me and Darren know each other until that interview, and then we just kept in touch. Listen, we have a shared vision on how we're going to do things. There's nothing better in the world having ownership that's committed to winning, and then being able to partner with a GM that has a shared vision that you have. So listen, this is not going to be a situation where we're going to agree on everything. We all know that. But when we go in the room, we're going to hash it out. We're going to come out as one.
Aaron, when you've talked a lot about the turnaround you guys were a part of in Detroit. You kind of started there from square one in terms of needing to acquire talent. When you look at the Jets roster right now, do you believe you're a few steps ahead of where you were even in Detroit because of the players that are already here?
Well, listen, that's hard to say. When you look at Detroit's offensive line, they have one of the better offensive lines in this league. So I don't think it's far from each other. But to me, it's the point of making sure that we have the right guys on this roster, in this building. And that's where it starts. So we're going to make sure we do that first. We're going to continue to evaluate the roster as we go along. But, man, we want to make sure we surround these players with the right coaches that's going to help them be able to relate to them and be able to teach them. Like, that's what I'm looking forward to right now.
What do you want? What do you want the identity of your offense to be?
What I want the identity of the offense to be. Here's my because I give that in a lot of these press conferences. We're gonna be tough, smart. Listen, we're gonna be New York Jets, and as you see us play, you'll be able to see the identity at that point. I always say family business stays in the house, so I'm not gonna let that out outside this building. Our players are gonna know what our identity is gonna be, and you're gonna find it out by the way we play.